guys, I want to show you a new iPhone and iPod Touch application I wrote. It's called iBrowse2. It's a full screen web browser as well as a web browser that lets you see two open pages at the same time on your iPhone. So it's available in the App Store now and I'd love to show you to you. So we'll turn it on and open iBrowse2. So the first thing you notice is that the interface should look pretty familiar. You have an address bar, Google, dedicated Google search box controls, but this plus button and the lock button here may not look too familiar to you. Well, that's okay. There are features unique to iBrowse2, and I'll show them to you in a second. So, first thing I'll do is I'll load a page. Maybe I'll load up New York Times. Okay, and we're running iBrowse2 version 1.1. It'll be a free upgrade to 1.0 users. It'll hopefully be in the App Store in a couple days, maybe even as you're watching this. It includes a couple new features and a couple tweaks that I'll show to you in a few minutes. But the core functionality is essentially the same. Okay, so now the New York Times is loaded. You'll notice you have the full web page. And you also can do the pinch, zoom in thing, double tap to fit the content of the frame, double tap to zoom back out, and you can also flip the phone or iPod and it will rotate for you. But one thing you won't find are any buttons that aren't on the web page. So iBrowse2, rather than clutter up your web page with buttons and take away your precious screen space, it puts them all off the screen for normal viewing. However, you do need the controls sometimes, so the way you get them is you just give your phone a quick shake and the controls come up. So this lock button, in case you haven't guessed, if I hit this now, if I flip the phone or iPod around, it doesn't rotate, which is great if you're laying down or in some kind of awkward position. So, that's nice. I'll just turn it off because I don't need it now. But its real claim to fame is the plus button. And the plus button, in case you haven't guessed that either, opens the second web page. So if you hit that, it'll open. And maybe, I really like a website called, I really like Gizmodo, so I'll open my bookmarks, load Gizmodo in the right window, and now start to load. And notice while that's loading, I can still browse around the New York Times, zoom in, read a little snippet of an article, even click a link, but I don't want to do that now. So, wait for Gizmodo to load. I see it, here it comes. Okay. And I'll say, well, you can notice you can scroll around each page individually, zoom each page individually, and see. I can browse around here and say, ooh, this looks cool. Maybe I'll click this link here. And wait for that to load. Okay, wait for it to finish loading, and, okay, maybe I really like this. Shake it and bring up my controls, now that works. Maybe I can, tell it I want a bookmark from the right window, and I'll say a bookmark's been added. And now if I bring my controls up again, maybe I want the New York Times to go, so I can hit this blue swap button up at top. And now it's going to swap the pages. So the Gizmodo article will now be in the left and the New York Times in the right as soon as it's finished. Okay, so now notice the pages have been swapped, and I can hit the minus now, and the New York Times article will go, leaving just the Gizmodo. And I can do, well, I could have done this with the two pages open, but I can also add a bookmark You want a bookmark of that page, or I can look through my history, maybe load a different page, but I don't want to do that. If I can hit this, it'll give me the option to either open it in Safari or email the link. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, well, I want to email it. So email to whom? Maybe my friend's name is, maybe his email is abc@gmail. I don't know. .com. Okay. Now it's going to open up my mail application, complete, formatted with whatever address I put in, email address, format subject and the link, ready to send. I'm not going to send it because that's not a real email address. But one other thing I want to show you is if you go into settings and you scroll down to the bottom, there will be a new pane for iBrowse2. And here you can turn on private browsing, so history will not be saved at all. You can set up a home page to load, put in your own page. I have it off, but I know some people like it. And the colors is new for 1.1. So you can go and you can pick an address bar color. Maybe I want it red, and the navigation bar maybe I want orange. And so now if I exit and I'll open iBrowse2 again, now I have a very colorful browser. So I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough, and please support me. I'll have a link to the iTunes store in the description. And thanks for watching.